Piper with the weekend video, and it's Saturday the 26th of October. We'll start with Bitcoin today, which has had some quite startling action over the recent days. Let's just set the scene first. We saw this low back in December, it's around 3,120. Clear 5 was up, 1, 2, 3. Irregular ABC perhaps for the 4, and then a 5. The clear 5s, then an ABC-A, ABC-B, and then a 5-part, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with a spike, and the spike was very close to the 61.8% level, which is level here. Now there was a fourth factor here, which is quite interesting. This concerns somebody called Superman, and I did release a video on Thursday. This is a subscriber-only video. Basically, I do 3 videos a week, and sometimes more. Subscribers get 2 of those, and I do a Saturday video for general release, as it were, just to show what I'm thinking, as it were. Anyway, on Thursday, Superman released this video here, saying I've had enough. I mean, he's normally very bullish, and that's a good illustration of how he normally looks, perhaps. But this, I thought, was an excellent buy signal. I mean, to some extent, Superman is a thought leader of the crypto community. He works hard. He's got a lot of respect for the guy. He makes good videos. But this is what we're looking for when we look for major highs, major lows. It's basically human psychology. We're looking for sort of despair and fear at the lows, and we're looking at massive enthusiasm and bullishness at the highs. And I've had enough. An expression on Superman's face is a very good buy signal. In fact, I think it's one of the best I've ever seen, for example, because it's quite rare you see something like this. And it corresponded almost precisely with this small wave 2 pullback and this buying spike we saw the previous day. We now have a very clear pattern. We have a 1, a somewhat messy 2, and then a, looks like, possibly 5 was up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that could be a 1, 2, 3. This is all I think at 3 wave. The 4 wave may in fact be over now. There's maybe a buying spike opportunity here. But it looks like the low's in, and it looks like we're going to go higher. And clearly, if you listened to my video on Thursday and bought the markets, I mean around the 7,000 level, say 7.5, then you'd been 3,000 points up here. And there'll still be 2,000 points up roughly at current level. So, the subscription price of a big call is 33.50 in the first month. So, I mean, £1 a point, you make £2,000. Do the maths. It's very just one buy signal like that is extremely valuable, I think. Excuse the shameless plug. So, what comes next? Well, if this is indeed the wave 4 low, then I would expect us to do a 5th wave high to complete the initial sequence, then another correction, and to set the scene for more upside. There is a buying opportunity here, I think. It's not as good as the one down here, obviously. I mean, that was the one I actually went into more. But it's a nice pattern. We've got, say, the ABC decline, we've got the Fibonacci, price spike, and Superman. So it's a pretty convincing buy signal, and of course it's all come true. We've got a massive rally. Let's look at the longer term chart again. We're looking at the longer term pattern going back to 2015. There's a massive spike back there. So I count this as a 1 and a 2. That was a pretty big decline down to the 3,000 level. So I think this is wave 3 starting up. So we've got the 1. I think we've now got the 2. And so if I'm correct, this is going to be a wave 3. It's going to take us above 20,000. It's going to exceed the 10,000 plus points we saw here. So if the low's in at current level around 7,000, we're going to see, I mean, 17,000 is sort of minimum expectation. I think 20,000 is a given. And if we start to accelerate from there, which is what you expect from a wave 3, third of a third in particular, and this is of course a third of a third of a third, then we could see some really quite startling action. But it looks, I mean, nothing's ever 100% certain in the markets. It's always risk and reward. But this looks like confirmation that we are in this big bull market, and that we are going to go higher, and that rally has now begun. So it's just a question of charting the patterns, getting on board, and seeing what happens. But don't ever risk more than you can afford to lose. This is a very volatile. It's not really a beginner's market. It's better off. It's really better not trying to be too clever. Actually, in many cases, just buy and hold. And you're trying to trade. It's more difficult. The spreads are quite big, etc., etc. But experienced traders, I think this is or could be a gold mine.
One important point on the psychology issue. The key thing is actually not to be part of the market, but to be outside the emotional aspect, or at least be able to view the emotional aspect objectively, so you can see which way you should be trading. So if you're really bullish, then you've got to be worried that maybe you ought to be selling, essentially. And if you're really worried, frightened, if you like, fearful, you've got to be thinking about this could well be a good buying opportunity. It's actually, I suppose I've been trading for 30 odd years. I put myself outside that really. I never really in a position where I feel too emotional about the market. I mean, it's something I've been doing for a long time. It doesn't really affect me in that direction. I use stops, I get in and out. If something goes wrong, I tend to get stopped out. I mean, maybe quite wise stops sometimes, but that is really the key issue. You need to put yourself outside the emotions, because if you allow them to control what you're doing, then you're probably going to start doing the wrong things at extremes. And of course, at extremes is a critical time, really, when you need to be doing the other thing rather than the thing your emotions tell you, suggesting you should be doing.
Ethereum has a similar pattern. 5 rows up. A, B, C with a bit of a double bottom here. Spikes, the spikes on 2 spikes there and another spike there. Not such a clear pattern. Let's have a look at the shorter term though. There can be a number of alternatives when you look at these patterns. I mean, it's not impossible this actually is a 1 and a 2 perhaps. This will all be a 3 to here. This thing here could be a 4 and that could be a 5. So it could be we've seen a complete wave 1. ABC, maybe a bit of a bounce, and perhaps another C wave decline to complete it. So the various possibilities here, and we could go a little bit lower if we go higher, but the overall interpretation looks pretty positive, and it's I mean, you don't dispel the kind of gloom that Superman was illustrating overnight. It takes time. Once you get these major lows and highs, it takes time to dissipate that and get to the other reversal. So on that base alone, I'd expect this to be these lows to hold for for the time span I'm talking about, really, for a decent bull market to come in. So already we're seeing the 50% level retested here on the that's a retracement level. So it's certainly possible we're going to see a bounce and then maybe 61.8% level around 171 on Ethereum. When I turn to gold, we had the A, B, C decline off the top. It began to look quite positive a minute. We had a 5 advance, possibly a corrective decline. And now this is potentially impulsive, but the strong reversal we saw yesterday is a bit of a negative. And I still wonder whether we need one more leg down here. So if we take it from here again, that's an A wave. A, B, C, that could be a B wave. So we could have another sell-off coming in here. It's still quite possible given the rally we saw before. So not out of the woods yet. Still very similar. Clearly an ABC decline, there's no real doubt about that. There's a possible 5-wave advance here. It's very slim, rather feeble 1. 5-wave 3, ABC 4, 5, that could be a 1. That's a clear ABC, that could be a 2. Again, this showed promise, but the current, unless you take this out really, which of course will be self-fulfilling to an extent, it looks more like we're going to see more of a correction, but clearly a bit of a battle going on. I'd prefer to see it move above there, which tend to confirm that we're going up. All right, finally look at FTSE. We had these 5 waves down, which potentially look like the beginning of something, followed by an ABC, so it could be a 1, 2, another sharp sell-off, but we've got this spike down below the support levels, but buyers came in. Currently this is an ABC, so again it's potentially negative, but if so, there's no sign of a reversal at this point. So it can still go either way at this point, I think. I mean, for me, the action is in cryptos at the moment. I mean, the gains we saw the last couple of days are quite phenomenal, really. I find it hard to get too excited about this kind of stuff. And gold and silver also. I mean, we've had a very solid rally. I think that's going to continue once this correction is over. So again, I think that's where the easier money lies, really. And I think personally, I think it's better to go for the easier money than the more difficult cash, really. Anyway, on that note, I'll call it a day. If I think it's useful, back to report on subscribers on Tuesday with updates. We might update earlier if we see something more interesting on the market we cover. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.